For those of you that haven't met me, my name is Rachel D'Ambrosio and I'm now the CEO of the Sew Happy Quilters Association. And thank you, Helen. That's really helpful. You can hear me. So hopefully a few more people will log on soon. If not, they can watch it back after. So I am based near Brighton. I'm 7 miles to the south of Brighton in a place called Telscombe Cliffs. And what you are seeing here is part of my sewing room. There is going to be other ones later on in the year where I'm going to show you around my sewing room, but I do need to do quite a bit of a tidy up because I brought a lot of fabrics back from Arizona, and my next live is going to be on the 5th of April at 7 o'clock. I will remind you at the end, and then I can show you all of my Arizona quilts and the fabrics that I got as well. So I just thought it'd be really nice to show you the Liberty quilts that I've made. I always get asked about my Liberty quilts and why I do the ones that I do, and it's probably one of the very first ones that I actually had long armed and sent off to be long armed, and so I can show you the quilts. So the first one I was going to show you is this one, which is in front of me, and this is called a patchwork of crosses. So there is a company called Sew and Quilt that is based down in Devon, and they do patchwork of crosses as a block of the month. And so what happens is you get through in the post the fabrics and the paper templates to make the blocks, and it gives you clear instructions on every single month that you get as to how you put them all together. And when I did my very first patchwork of crosses quilt, I did it in the traditional English paper piecing, and I was quite horrified because what happened was, if you've done English paper piecing and you've got the paper templates and then you put it into you use the glue to glue the fabric in, when you use the lawn Liberty fabric you end up ripping the fabric when you pull the papers out. So I was really horrified. So I'd made this beautiful quilt and I'd made all these blocks, and the ones that ripped were all of this red one because this is a lawn fabric and these are 1/2 inch square. And so then I found this amazing company called Ashmead Designs, and they make something called Hexiform, which is there. I'm going to show you, which is this. And Hexiform is like English paper piecing, but what they do is it's made by an amazing lady called Susie, and she designed this, and she puts different layers of fabric together that gets heat bonded, and then she cuts them into shapes. And the two shapes I'm showing you are a hexagon and a honeycomb. And in the patchwork of crosses, you have got all honeycombs and you've got squares. That is literally what the blocks are made up of. And so from that point onwards, I completely have done all of my Liberty quilts with Hexiform. Firstly, it's much softer on your hands, and secondly, you leave it in, you do not take it out. And I've got some quilts over here which I'm going to show you. Hello, Poppy. And so I'm going to show you some of the quilts that I've been making, and so you can see the background of them because they haven't been sent off to long armers yet, so you can see it. And in fact, Poppy, your quilt that I made you was all made in Hexiform as well. So and it does definitely preserve the fabric, especially when you're using a Liberty fabric that is all like a lawn. And so with the block of the months that come from people like Sew and Quilt and Alice Caroline, you do get all the papers, but there is still a huge load of people that love doing it in papers, and so you can easily sell those on Facebook Marketplace, which is what I do. So I sell all the papers and then I redo it all in Hexiform, and then I tell Susie at Ashmead Designs how many I want of each one, and she hello Terry, and she literally sends me all the ones that I need. So it's great. So I'm going to show you this one first of all, and then I'll talk a little bit more about Hexiform as well. So this one, if you don't know about patchwork of crosses, go Google it, because it's the most inspirational story I've ever met. And I think that's probably why I love it, because this was designed by a lady called Lucy Boston. And I'm going to show you a photo of Lucy Boston. She sadly isn't with us anymore, and I'm going to show you the photo, which is in her book. This is her book, one of the books, and it's called The Patchworks of Lucy Boston. And there is a picture of the lovely Lucy Boston, who designed patchwork of crosses. She's actually well known for writing children's books that are called The Children of Green Knoll. And then she decided to start designing patchwork, and she was actually sewing into her 90s. And if you read the book, it's very inspirational, because it says that in her 90s she couldn't see to sew the thread and see to thread the needle. And so what she did was she used to have students come to her house who would line up all the needles with all of them all threaded in, and then she would carry on sewing so she could carry on making them. And in actual fact, her house, which is up near Cambridge, you can actually go and visit the house and you can see lots of her patchworks. I'm just going to show you another picture. And a lot of people who go, there is a picture of the patchworks in the house, and a lot of the people actually go to see the house because of the children's book she wrote and not because of the patchwork. And in August, I'm actually going to the house. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do a live from there. I've emailed her to ask if that's okay, so you can see Lucy Boston's house and see all of her patchworks. And so yeah, and she did all of the patchworks in Liberty fabric as well. So it is a really inspirational story and I absolutely love it. So this is one of them. I'll try and hold it up so you can see how big it is. She designed it with different blocks, and I'm just going to hold it up like that. And there's all like different, so that would be classed as a block, and then this bit here, that bit there would be classed as a block, and this bit up here would be classed as a block. And you can make it in, this is actually a single bed size, as you can see, and you can make it in a double bed or a king size. You can just keep on going. I absolutely love this one, and I always have a patchwork of crosses on the go, which I will show you later when I have got my other quilts out. But the good thing about the hexiform is that you don't necessarily have to wad the quilt if you don't want to, because the fabric is like a wadding anyway. And this one, I have not wadded it, I've literally just backed it, and as you can see from the back, I have had it long armed. I usually, when I do Liberty quilts, I send them off to be long arm because it does definitely protect it better, and also it looks much nicer. You could easily long arm it through your own sewing machine, but you're not going to get this amazing pattern, you're not going to get this amazing stretch. And I do have a few which are going to be going off to the long armers. I do find it very difficult to let them go because once you've spent months making them, you're a bit like, oh, I don't want to let this go, I want to really literally just like hang on to it. So if you've got any questions while I'm talking, then do just ask them, because I can see the screen, I can see who's any questions you're asking, and I will answer them as I can. So so like I mentioned earlier, this comes from a block of the month from a company called Sew and Quilt. And what I do is I tend to build up all 12 months of the block of the months in one hit, and then I'll stitch it all in probably about 2 to 3 months. And I do it in the evening between about 7 and 11 p.m. And so some people do, there is a whole like Facebook group for it, and some people do literally religiously do it every month. But I'm a little bit, I'd rather just do it in one hit because I can't wait. And so I'd rather build it all up and then do it in one hit. Hello Emma, hello Emma. And yeah, so that is the first one. And I'm going to show you another patchwork of crosses, and there is a difference with this one as well. And this is another patchwork of crosses, and this one is bigger, and again, as you can see, it still has that red Liberty fabric in it, the red one. This is actually bigger than the other one I showed you, and also it's got a different fabric on the back. You can't really see the long arm end, you can more so see it on the front there, you can see it there. And these two particular ones, do you go out in your sewing room or sew indoors? Terry, I sew this outdoors? I have done occasionally. I think when I went on the cruise last year, I took some of this with me, and I also sew in the car as well. If my husband's driving, obviously I don't sew when I'm driving. But yeah, so I do sit outside and do some, but generally I do it in my sewing room. And so with this one, this has got, again, it was a sew and quilt block of the month, and then I did it in one hit. But what I did was I actually backed it with a wadding, and this has a wadding called Bump, which is a little bit like a curtain lining, so it's a bit thinner than your usual wadding you would use, and it's really good, say, for a winter quilt. But this one that I have done with the blue backing with no wadding at all, that's perfect for a summer quilt. So you could do one for summer and one for the winter, but it is a lot thicker and it is a lot heavier if it's got wadding in it, but it's really, really nice. And I definitely am addicted to patchwork of crosses. When I get the block of the month through as well, I don't always do it to, hello Bernie, I don't always do it to how the order that they say. I tend to just like look at the fabrics and go with what I want to do, and just go with that really. So that is those two. We're going to end up with a great big pile of quilts here. So the next one I'm going to show you is the ones that come from Alice Caroline. And as you can probably imagine, by the end of this, you're going to know how addicted I am to Liberty and why I love it so much. And so this is an Alice Caroline one. If you haven't heard of Alice Caroline, go Google them. They are a very big supplier of Liberty fabric. They do loads and loads of kits. They have big stands at places like Festival of Quilts, and their stands are just amazing. And so that's the fabric that I use for the back of it. And this one is absolutely lovely. And this one is called, I'm going to show you, is called Flower Garden. And again, it was a block of the month, and again it did come in boxes, and again I kept all 12 boxes and then did it in one hit over a period of about 3 months, and then sent it off to be long armed. And this one is really, really lovely because all it is made up of is hexagons and diamonds and triangles, and again it's all hexiformed, and it definitely does protect the fabric more when you hexiform it, and definitely when you long arm it as well. So I'm just going to hold this up. I don't have anybody in here to help me, so I'm just going to try and do my best. So you can see there how amazing it is. They are absolutely stunning, and I do love making them. And then I have got the quilts that are on the go, so I'm going to show you those ones. If anyone's got any questions, do ask, and I will try my best to answer them. So let's just put this to one side, otherwise we'll end up with loads of quilts in a big pile and you won't be able to see me, which will be really funny. And just before I do that, I'm just going to get a drink, and yes, it is a Liberty cup as well. I definitely love going to the Liberty store, but I spend far too much money when I go there. And so I tend to just go in the January sales, because they do have a whole outlet floor at the very top, and you can get some really, really good bargains if you go in January. Usually the first 2 weeks are the best 2 weeks, and when we went January this year, we definitely got some bargains. So let me show you the quilts that are being made. Just going to pull them down. So this is another one. This is another flower garden. So Alice Caroline has actually done the flower garden block of the month quite a few times, and what she does is changes, although the white is always the same white, the background, all the Liberty fabrics are always different. So if I show you this one and this one, you can kind of see that, yeah, they are different. It's the same layout, it's the same hexagons with the diamonds and then the triangles, yeah, so it's just different ones. And again with hers, you get in the box you get the instructions on how many you should be doing a month. And if you can see this bit here, that is classed as one block. Generally you would have maybe 4 blocks to do and maybe 2 halves, and I'll show you what the halves look like. It's much easier to manipulate when it hasn't been long armed. Oh, there you go. So that there is a half. This bit, oh hang on, there we go. This bit here is a half, and then you've also got the corners. Although what I would say is that actually some of the corners I did have to work out myself because it wasn't on there, and I've definitely had to do that on all of the quilts. And so I'll just come back to this one in a minute, because something popped into my head to show you. When you do the, hold on, as you can see, there's a lot of quilts. And when you do the patchwork acrosses, this lovely bit here, you are supposed to cut off and have it like that. That is actually how Lucy Boston designed it, and I'm like, I can't bear to do that, not with my precious Liberty fabric, so I do not cut it off. So I put an extra 2.5-inch strip along here and then put them on. But yeah, but if you saw her quilts in her house, you'd be like, oh, that is a bit different to Rachel's ones, and that's because I don't like to cut it off. So I'm just going to put those back to there and back to there, and then come back to this one. So this is one that needs to be sent off to be long armed. And Bernie, this is the one you'll be getting soon when I can bear to part with it. And I'm going to show you the back, because you can see the hexiform in the back. There you go, you can see it there. And so you leave them all in, you do not take them out. And it's really soft as well. It's not like your paper piecing where you would have to then take all the papers out. You don't get any ripping with it like you would if you put paper pieced it and then you glued it. Yeah, so this one will definitely go off to be long armed. Because I go to groups and I show them these quilts, sometimes they like to see the back of them, so I do tend to keep a couple that are not backed, and then they can see the back of that, which is quite nice. And size wise, this one is about a double bed size. I suppose you probably could make it bigger or smaller if you took some of the blocks out, but I definitely, well, I enjoy making the patchwork crosses. Yes, Betty, you're going to get all these quilts. I definitely enjoy making the patchwork crosses, but I also enjoy making these ones. I think just because Liberty fabrics are just so pretty, aren't they? They really, really are. And so let me just fold this one up, and then I will show you the next one. Otherwise, like I said, you are not going to be able to see me because we will have too many quilts out. Let's put that there. I do have this lovely area behind me that usually all the quilts that are going off to long armers sit up here waiting to go, and then I have a lovely display over there where all my quilts are on display and for people to see. Although, having come back from QuiltCon recently in Arizona and spoken to the Quilt Alliance, you have to Google them because they are amazing. They are all about labelling your quilts, making sure you've put all your information on your quilts about who made it, where you made it, the fabric that you use, and also there's lots of information about how you should store them. And I think how I'm storing them is probably not how I should store them, and so I'm going to have a bit of a sort out and store them differently. Like maybe don't have them in the daylight, and maybe don't fold them the way I fold them. So I'll keep you up to date on that one as to what progress I have on that one. So let me show you the next one. Now this one, is a very big quilt, and this is really, really pretty, really pretty. It's an Alice Caroline block of the month, and again I saved up all 12 months and I've done it in one hit. And how she laid out like the grandma's flower and then the edging around here, I've changed all of them. I've just got all the fabrics and I just went with it really. But the green, what they call the green pathway, I kept exactly the same. The white I kept the same, and if you notice from this one to this one, they always keep the white the same. What I would say about Alice Caroline's block of the month is that there's not much wiggle room in your cutting, so be very careful. There's lots of wiggle room in sewing quilts, which is really good, but what I tend to do with Alice Caroline's is I will go and buy some more of the white, or with the green. I definitely bought more of the green. And because you definitely need that really. But yes, so this is really lovely. I'll just hold it up like that so you can see it. And again, you've got the edging, which again I had to work out because you don't really get this bit here. You have to kind of work that out yourself. And the corners, you also don't get the corners, so you have to work that out yourself. But it's quite easy because it's all hexagons, and then you just half your hexes, and then quarter your hexes. So how many quilts do I have? What, to be long armed, Bernie, or have I actually got in my sewing room? Yeah, I don't think I want to answer that. I mean, I think probably the ones made, don't know, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 6, but that's only the Liberty ones because I have lots of other ones, which I'll show you on another day, and because they're not in Liberty fabric. And I have the ones to be long armed. I think I have got 4 that need to be long armed, but also I have got ones that I'm making, so I'll show you those as well. But yeah, so coming back to this, so again, it's all been hexiformed in the back, and you can see the hexiform. And if I show you the pieces, which is here, so that is a hexagon, and obviously so these are smaller hexagons. What Susie's really good with at Ashby Designs is if you need a specific colour, specific size, not colour, specific size, you can let her know and she will cut them all for you. And in fact, she's done that for me with one of my blocks that I'm doing, and I will show you that in a minute. But yeah, so this one I think was a lot quicker to sew, and I really enjoyed it, and I think I enjoyed the process of the grandma's flower garden with the edge, the same fabric there, and then the same fabric around the edge, and then the white ring, and then the pathway. And as you can see from this one, I do not do fussy cutting. You can do fussy cutting. Thank you, Emma. See you soon. Bye. You can do fussy cutting for it if you want to. I don't tend to do fussy cutting because I think it wastes far too much of my Liberty fabric. And so, as you can see, definitely is not fussy cutted. I mean, they are beautiful fussy cutted quilts. And there is one, if you've read my blog that's on the Facebook group that I put up last week, there is one that I've mentioned that I've slightly fussy cutted, but that's to do with the wording and not to do with the fabric, which I can show you. So let me put this one away and ask any questions if you want to. So how many total, Bernie? I'm going to have to add them up. I mean, I really don't know. I suppose when I reshuffle them, I can add them up then. Maybe 30, maybe. I don't know. And all my friends have got quilts as well. And so, yeah, I have made a lot. I have made a lot. So I'm just going to put this one to one side and then show you the other ones. So this one is a Liberty one, and actually I've designed all this one myself. There is no block of the months involved. There is literally nothing involved apart from I've just designed it all myself. And I worked on the basis of as you can see, I worked on the basis of a hexagon shape with so all it is diamonds that make up a hexagon, and then you've got a triangle to space out the white bit. Some of them have triangles as well, as you can see. Oh, hang on, there we are. You can see there. So it is all diamonds and triangles, but into a hexagon shape. So I'm going to hold it out and you can see how big it is. And there's a funny story about this one. Some of the groups might have heard it, because actually when my daughter and I flew to Utah in May last year, we had a 10-hour flight, and so I had all of them made like this, and then I sewed 3 lines of it all together on the flight, and it was all trailing into the alleyway. It was really funny. Yeah, so this one will definitely be sent off to Bernie to be long armed. Not sure what colour. Maybe I need to go for a, don't know, maybe a pink. I don't know. But I've been asked. The question I've been asked with this one is, how did I put the fabrics, decide which fabrics were going to go in it? Because all of the other block of the months, you get given the fabrics, I just put them into different orders. So with this one, I'd already brought, back in lockdown, good old lockdown, I'd actually brought a pack of fat quarters from Liberty. I think there might have been about 20 fat quarters. And so they were already put together like that anyway. And I just used that as my base for this one. But as you can see from the back, again, it's been hexiformed and no paper piecing involved. You have lots of threads. Thank you, Bernie. We can have a chat about that. And yes, so you can see them. When I worked out this one, I did have to do a bit of maths, which I'm not great at, and work out the size of the triangles to go in there, and then also the edge, because you ended up with this bit here. And I thought I'm going to put a really bright pinky in, so maybe that's why I'm thinking pink, because of this, to tie in with that. And so I had to work out that bit, but I'm really pleased how this one has come out. So let me show you another one, and you're going to say, oh my goodness, all these quilts. Oh yes, definitely. I'm definitely someone who sews for mental well-being, and it really stops me going down rabbit holes, and I love Liberty. So that's that one. Showed you that one. Right. So this one is a bit of a weird one, actually. And when I was getting all the quilts out earlier, I realised, oh yeah, I've got that one, haven't I? And it did come as a kit from Alice Caroline. And what you get in the kit is, you get the fabric, you get this fabric, but it's quite thin and quite see-through, I think. And then it was in a block, and you'd have like a block like that to make, which you then applicate onto the fabric. But you also had these little teeny weeny ones there, which kind of like covered the where you join like the 4 together. So and I have hexiformed this one, and then I've appliqued it on, and I appliqued it on with a blanket stitch, because I think that looks quite pretty. Hopefully it's difficult to see that one because obviously it's on a white background, so who knows. But yeah, so I think this one, and it's only, what is it, 3 blocks by 4 blocks, and it's quite pretty. It is quite pretty. So this is probably definitely one, and I think, which will go off to the long armers, and I think it's probably going to be quite a thick wadding in it, because the fabric's really, really thin. Otherwise you're going to see the back. I don't know. I'll keep you up to date on that one. But I've had this one for quite a while, actually. I think I probably made it don't know, maybe 2022, maybe two, 3 years ago. It's just sat up on my shelf of ones looking very sad that need to be finished. So let's just fold that one. And now I'm going to show you the ones that are in process. You're thinking, oh my goodness, is there more, Rachel? Yes, there definitely is more. So let me show you the ones over here. Let's just do that, put that there. So the first one I'm going to show you is, remember at the beginning I said I always have a patchwork of crosses on the go, which I do. And that is the lovely pattern that's designed by Lucy Boston. So this is my little pile of all of my patchwork of crosses. I will show you. So that's what it looks like when it is actually in a block. And again, hexiformed at the back. And then you have, I'm going to read you the little list of how many I've got to make, because it's a little bit like, woo, that's a lot, but it's going to be amazing. And as you can see, I've done it with the blue Betsy fabric and not the red. And I'll remind you what the red looks like. I could just, oh, there we are. So look, that's the red and that's the blue. And I think it's going to be really pretty in the blue. I've done so many in the red. And so for a full-size quilt, which is like a double quilt, this is how many you need. You need 56 of those. That's a lot. And there's 24 honeycombs just in that, so you need 56 of those. And then you're going to need 4 corner ones, obviously, because 4 corners of the quilt. That's a corner one. So I've done all those already, so I've got a good start. So you've got your 4 corner ones, and then you've got your what they call the end ones, the square ones, and the connections. So these are the ends, so you have 30 of those, and then you have all of these ones, and there is going to be 127 of those. Yeah, that's a lot, but when it all comes together, it's going to be amazing. So with this one, I've literally been doing like little bulks. So that's like a bulk of those ready to go, bulk of those ready to go, because I get a little bit bored, I think, with just doing loads of those, and then I swap over to loads of those, and it's looking really, really pretty, as you can see. So I will keep you up to date on that one. And so that one can go there. And then I've got my little list. And sometimes when I look at it, I think, oh my goodness, there's a lot to do. But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to crack on and get it done. Hopefully you can all, I've had my live thing come up that says about my connection. So if there's any problems, let me know. Hopefully you can still hear me. So, so then I don't know if you went to the Festival of Quilts in 20... what was it? Was it last year? Or was it before? No, it was the year before. So it's 2023. Because on the Liberty stand, they had a quilt called Somerset Garden. And it was designed by a lady called Suzanne Campion, and she designed it for Liberty. You can actually download all of the pattern completely for free on the website. And this is the pattern. And so I did start that one, but then I got distracted by the Bridgerton fabric, so I can show you the Bridgerton fabric in a minute. So I have started on this one. Some of my friends will be pleased to hear, because they spent hours on me in Liberty choosing the fabric. It's January last year, and it's really good in the way the patterns are written, because it tells you how many like hexagons you need, jewels that you need, circles, not circles, hexagons and jewels and triangles that you need. And so it's really, really good how it shows you, and you just go through step by step. This is one that I got Susie from Ashby Designs to cut the whole lot for me, all the pieces, so I have got them ready to go. And I have done a few of these ones, not a lot, but because I got distracted by the Bridgerton fabric, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And so this is one of the blocks ready for the Somerset quilt. And if I show you the picture again, you might be able to see, obviously you can go with the same fabric as her, but I've gone completely different because I think a lot of the fabric was out of stock that I heard, so I've gone with my own. So that's that one. And then I'm going to show you some of these. Oh, hang on, let me show you this one. This one's really pretty. There you go, look. So you can just see, hopefully, where that is placed on there. And yeah, and what's great, keeping it like this all together, just iron it and keep it all together in a little packet, and being hexafoil, you can just iron it again if you fold it and you need to re-iron it. So that is the Somerset quilt. And then the last one to show you is the one that I've been busy making, which some of you might know about, is the fabric, the quilt that I'm making from the Bridgerton fabric. I don't know how many of you have seen the Bridgerton fabric, but basically if you watch Bridgerton, then on Netflix, Liberty did a collaboration with Bridgerton to make the fabric. If you saw them in the gowns when they were dancing, and you saw the fabric that had all the ribbons in it, and that blue and yellow background, then that was, you could buy that fabric, but so it was released in June last year and literally sold out within a couple of months. And in fact, when we went to Liberty in January, I asked, have you got any more? And they said, no, it is all sold out. And this fabric was £30 a metre, so it's not cheap. And so the thing is with the fabric is it's really, really big pieces. So this is what I've been making. And I'm doing it all in diamonds, literally diamonds. And they are a 3-inch wide diamond, so they're quite big. And I've done it specifically like that big because of the fabric, because the fabric has really, really big prints, and you wouldn't want to make it smaller, because otherwise you're just going to take too much of the pattern out. So that is another one with the different fabrics. So I'm using all this yellow ribbons in the background, and I've worked out I'm going to need 8 for the top, and it's going to be a double quilt. And actually, you'll be pleased to hear, this one is actually for us, because we had our 15th wedding anniversary last year, which is diamonds and crystals. And I think this is kind of represent that really. And then you've got the pink ribboned one. So I've got 8 of those. And then I've got that one, which is 8 of those, all with the yellow background. So I started making them and then realised, horror of horrors, I actually don't have enough of the yellow ribbon background. So what do you do when it's all sold out? Well, I've got 2 options. One is I try and pay more money and try and find it from another supplier, which is proving a bit difficult. But I do actually have the blue version that they made for Bridgerton. So I think I'm going to do it in 2 different lines, and we'll have like a line of the yellow and then a line of the blue, and put it together like that. So yes, I will keep you up to date on that one. And then I got slightly sidetracked really, because you do end up with lots of scraps when you make these kind of quilts, and I'm not going to waste any of my little teeny weeny scraps. And so then I thought, I wonder what it'd be like if Lucy Boston went into Bridgerton, and so what her patchwork and crosses would look like in the Bridgerton fabric. And so I came up with this, and so it's the patchwork and crosses block. It is slightly bigger honeycombs. As you can see, if I show you this one against that one, you can see the difference. So I have gone bigger on it, again, because of the fabric really. And then my plan is to keep using up the scraps, make it, I don't know, maybe 6 by 6. I have no idea. I'll have to let you know that one. And then applique them on to there. And I have just literally hand stitched the whole thing on. And I think it looks really pretty. So I'm going to call this When Lucy Boston Went to Bridgerton, and it'd be interesting to see how that comes out. So I'm quite excited about that one really. So yeah, so that is my Liberty quilts that are on the go, and hopefully you've really enjoyed seeing them. If anyone's got any questions, ask me any questions. So we've got lots of exciting things coming up. My next Facebook Live is going to be on the 5th of April at 7 p.m. I'm trying to do it a bit later, because so we can include our American and Canadian happy quilters as well. And obviously because of the time difference, they want to join in, and this is a bit early for them because it's like, I don't know, 7 a.m. or something. And so the next one, I'm going to just show you the fabrics that I got when I went to QuiltCon in Arizona. When Lucy met Benedict. I like that. That's a very good idea, Terry. So yeah, so I'm going to show you the fabrics I got from Arizona. I'd show you bits and bobs that I got from QuiltCon and talk about QuiltCon as well. So that would be really nice. And so what else has been going on with the SHQA, Sew Happy Quilters Association? We're nearly finished on our logo. We've been seeing lots of proofs. It is very exciting, and it's going to tell a bit of a story really, and it's very bit of fun, obviously being professional, but with a bit of fun, because we're all about fun and happiness. So hopefully next week I can show you the finish of that. We're hoping to get more news on our website soon, and we are off tomorrow to go and visit some potential venues for our retreats. We're looking at venues that are quite close to Gatwick, so that if anybody wants to fly into Gatwick, any international happy quilters, come and join us, then you can. So that's going to be exciting. We're busy speaking and booking to other tutors, to get other tutors to do some workshops as well. And yeah, so it's all really, really busy. And the other thing we're doing as well is visiting some venues for potentially some very large quilt shows in the East Sussex area. So I will keep you up to date on that. But do have a look on the Facebook page at the moment. It's got lots of Zoom workshops that I'm doing, and I'm about to put some on that other tutors are doing as well. And keep an eye on our lives. And then when the website goes live, I'll let you know about that, because there's going to be lots of exciting things on that. And yes, so thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you think of any questions after, just send them to me, and I will keep you up to date on all of our plans, the SHQA, and also any Liberty quilts that I am doing or if I've finished. Yes, Bernie, we will have a chat and I will get them off to you. And I might have to send them by recorded delivery or something, like special delivery or even a courier, because I'm going to be like, oh, my quilts are going to go in the post. But yeah, we can do that. So that's really great. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. See you later. Bye.
You can find the Sew Happy Quilters Association on their website, Instagram, YouTube and Facebook.